Although the first Inter-Dominion for Pacers was run in 1936, a separate section for Trotters was not included on the program until the 1948 series at Alexandra Park in Auckland. Ariel Scott, driven by Bob Young, came off 24 yards to beat Touche and Firewater in the 2,500 pounds final over 2 miles in a track record 4 minutes 24. With only a handful of Australian states catering for the straight-out trotter, the first Australian series was not held until 1966 at Harold Park. Neville and Brian Gath dominated the 4 qualifying heats, Neville winning 2 behind Maori Miss, later the dam of super trotter Maori's Idol, while Brian cleaned up the remaining 2 with Corrup McElwyn. Both Victorians were unplaced in the $6,000 final, however, with victory going to Yamamoto, who led throughout for Colin Watts, whose father Jack Watts won the 1950 Pacers final with Captain Sandy. Grammel, who finished 4th from 36 yards to Poupette in the Dunedin final a year earlier after winning her 3 heats, was beaten only a half head by Yamamoto after conceding the winners 72 yards at the handicaps. Grammel rated 2 minutes 7.6, at that time the fastest ever recorded by a trotter at Harold Park.
2 circuits of the course to go as they run beneath our camera here this time, and here the leader still Yamamoto trotting boldly in front of Palmyra Bay. They're followed then by Panther's Flight, Maori Miss on the outside of Corrup McElwyn. In behind those then we've got Hammerhead, who's on the outside of Sugar and Spice. They're followed then by the New Zealander Queen's Cord, Lucky Song. Grammel has caught up the field and they're starting to pack up as they make the run to the back, a lap and 3/4 out. And here the leader is still Yamamoto. Now Maori Miss is moving quickly on the outside. They're followed then by Palmyra Bay, Panther's Flight, Hammerhead. Corrup McElwyn broken is dropping back through the field, Queen's Cord. They're followed then by Sugar and Spice. Grammel on the outside of Sugar and Spice has been forced to cover a fair amount of extra ground. Behind them we've got Lucky Song, and Corrup McElwyn, after getting the trouble, has dropped out to last. They're coming back to the straight again now with a bell lap coming up in the Inter-Dominion Trotting Championship, and into the straight Yamamoto clear of Maori Miss, now sitting in behind that horse. Then Hammerhead moving up well for Jim Cabin. Behind them Palmyra Bay, Panther's Flight. They're followed then by Sugar and Spice, in on the rails then Queen's Cord. Grammel is on the outside of Lucky Song, maybe a bit tired Grammel, and behind them Corrup McElwyn making up some ground but has a lot ahead of it. Less than 3 to go now. Up the back Yamamoto from Maori Miss, then Hammerhead. Now Panther's Flight goes. They're followed then by Grammel finishing strongly on the outside. Palmyra Bay dropping back. Then Sugar and Spice, Queen's Cord, and Lucky Song up towards the top turn. And Yamamoto is still going well for Colin Watts. Clear of Maori Miss, Panther's Flight, Sugar and Spice. Grammel doesn't appear to be able to do much better, although he's making up some ground. Yamamoto with Watts sitting still, clear of Maori Miss, Panther's Flight, and Grammel will have to go around the outside about 5 lengths back now under the whip and perhaps beaten. Yamamoto leads into the straight, Panther's Flight, Maori Miss behind them, Grammel down the outside, Yamamoto now under the whip, out wide, Grammel is coming with a tremendous burst. Yamamoto on the inside does this. Grammel from South Australia pecking close for 3rd between Panther's Flight and Sugar and Spice, then Maori Miss, Lucky Song, they're followed by Queen's Cord, Hammerhead, Palmyra Bay, and Corrup McElwyn last.